Daily English context. Negotiating a 20% rent increase with your landlord. You open your mailbox, and there's a letter from your landlord. Your heart drops. They want 20% more money next month? Your English is okay, but how do you fight this without losing your home? It feels impossible. It's one of the most stressful conversations you can have. But you don't have to just accept it, and you definitely don't have to move out. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to negotiate like a pro.
George, I just saw the new number. A 20% rent increase? I absolutely can't pay that. I mean, I love this flat, but that's basically my entire grocery budget for the whole month. Are you serious? This is completely out of nowhere.
Look, Jessica, I really do understand your frustration here. But my property taxes just went up by a massive amount this year. I'm honestly not trying to push you out, but I have to cover my own costs somehow. It's just business.
Wait, how did they get to this awkward moment? Let's rewind and learn some crucial words first. Word number 1 is rent increase. This is simply when the owner asks you to pay more money every month. Nobody likes those. Now, if the rent goes up too much, you might say, I can't afford it. To afford something means you have enough money in your bank account to pay for it. Like me trying to afford a fancy holiday right now. Impossible. And finally, we have the word lease. A lease is the legal paper you sign when you first agree to rent the apartment. It protects you and it protects the landlord. Keep these words in mind as we jump into the story.
Hi, George. Thanks so much for coming over. I really wanted to talk about the letter you sent me yesterday. I saw that my current lease is ending in 2 months, and you want to raise the price. It was quite a shock.
Hi, Jessica. Yes, I thought it'd be best to talk in person. The market prices in this neighborhood have gone up quite a bit. I'm sure you've noticed how expensive everything is getting lately. It's just crazy out there right now.
I've noticed, yes. But a 20% rent increase is just huge. I really love living here and I want to stay. But honestly, I just can't afford to pay that much extra money every single month. It breaks my budget completely.
I hear you. I really do. But my costs are going up too. The building needs a new roof, and my taxes are much higher this year. I have to make sure the property actually pays for itself. It's strictly a business decision.
I understand that. But think about it from my side. I've been a good tenant for 3 years. I always pay my rent on time, and I keep the apartment perfectly clean. You never have to worry about me. Isn't that worth something?
That's absolutely true. You're a great person to have in the building. I never have to chase you for money. But a 20% jump is what the market says this flat is worth right now. If I find a new tenant, they'll pay it.
But if I move out, the apartment will be empty for at least a month. You'll lose a full month of rent, plus you have to spend time interviewing strangers. Do you really want to take that huge risk? It seems like a bad idea.
Did you catch her strategy there? Jessica just reminded him that she's a good tenant, and finding someone new costs money. Pause for a second. What would you say next? This is brilliant negotiating. Let's see if George actually listens to her logic.
Well, you do make a fair point. An empty apartment is definitely a headache. And I hate showing the place to new people on my weekends. But I still can't keep the rent exactly the same as last year. It's just not possible for me.
I'm not asking you to keep it exactly the same. I know prices are rising, but I think a 5% raise is much more reasonable for someone who already lives here. Let's find a middle ground. We can both win here.
5%? Jessica, that barely covers my new tax bill. If I only raise it by 5%, I'm basically losing money on the maintenance. I could maybe drop it down to 15%. That's my best offer. Take it or leave it, honestly.
15% is still too high. I really can't afford that. Look, if we can't find a number that's reasonable, I'll have to start packing my boxes this weekend. And I really don't want to leave. This is my home.
Wait, let's not rush into anything crazy. Packing boxes sounds like a lot of work for both of us. You really can't do 15%? Even if I upgrade the old washing machine in the kitchen for you, it's been making funny noises anyway.
A new washing machine? That's definitely tempting. The current one ruins my sweaters. But even with a new machine, 15% is too much. What about 8%? That's a very reasonable increase for a loyal renter. And I'll sign for 2 years.
You'd sign a 2-year lease? Well, that changes things. Having a guaranteed good tenant for 2 whole years means I don't have to worry about this place at all. That's actually quite valuable to me. Peace of mind is nice.
Boom! Did you see what she did? She offered him something he wants, security, in exchange for a lower price. This is exactly how you negotiate. But will George accept the 8%? Let's find out right now. The tension is real, folks.
Exactly. A 2-year lease gives you total peace of mind. No empty apartment, no weekend viewings, and no weird strangers ruining the carpets. 8% is a very fair deal for both of us. What do you say, George? Can we shake on it?
8%? And a new washing machine? You're a very tough negotiator, Jessica. Fine. If you agree to sign the 2-year lease tomorrow, I'll lower the rent increase to 10%. But that's my absolute limit. Not a penny less.
10%? Well, that's half of what you originally asked for. And I do desperately need that new washing machine. Okay, George. 10% and a 2-year contract. I think I can actually afford that. It's a deal.
Fantastic. I'll print out the new lease agreement tonight and bring it over in the morning. And I'll start looking at washing machines online. Try not to ruin any more sweaters before next week, okay? I really appreciate your flexibility.
I'll do my best. Thank you, George. I'm really glad we could sit down and have a reasonable conversation about this. It feels so much better than just panicking over a piece of paper in the mail. Communication really is everything.
I agree completely. It's always better to just talk things out. You're a good tenant, Jessica, and I genuinely want you to stay. I'll see you tomorrow morning with the paperwork. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, George. See you tomorrow. Wow, I can't believe that actually worked. I saved myself so much money, and I get to stay in my favorite apartment. I definitely need to celebrate with some pizza tonight. Maybe a really large one.
A large pizza is definitely deserved. Honestly, negotiating can feel incredibly scary, especially in a second language. But look at how Jessica handled it. She stayed perfectly calm, used logic, and found a brilliant compromise. You can do this too. It just takes practice.
Okay, let me just double check my budget on my phone. A 10% rent increase, plus the money I save from not having to hire moving trucks. Oh, this is actually gonna work out perfectly. I'm so relieved. My bank account is safe.
Walking back to my car now. You know, I actually feel pretty good about that. Yes, I wanted 20%, but finding a good tenant is like finding gold. Keeping her for 2 years is worth the discount, definitely. Plus, washing machines are cheap.
I really thought I was going to have to leave. The word reasonable really saved me. When you ask someone to be reasonable, it makes them stop and think. They don't want to look like the bad guy. It works. It's a magic word.
I suppose I'll have to buy that washing machine this weekend. Maybe I can find one on sale. Honestly, a signed lease brings so much peace of mind. I'll bring the papers over first thing tomorrow. Time to get back to work.
I'm ready to sign. I love my home, and I'm proud of myself for speaking up. If you never ask, the answer is always no. Now, where's that pizza delivery menu? I'm absolutely starving right now. Time for a feast.
You know, as a landlord, you always expect a fight. But she was completely respectful. She proved she could afford the new price by adjusting the terms. I respect that. It makes me want to be a better landlord, honestly. She earned that washing machine.
Tomorrow, I'll sign that new lease. No more worrying about rent increases for 24 whole months. If you're ever in this situation, just remember to stay calm and know your worth as a good tenant. You have power too. Don't let them intimidate you.
What an amazing negotiation! Let's review. Jessica faced a massive rent increase, but because she's a good tenant, she negotiated. She proved she could afford 10%, asked George to be reasonable, and signed a new 2-year lease. Brilliant! She really saved the day. Now it's your turn. Which of today's words do you think you'll use first? A, rent increase, B, lease, or C, reasonable? Drop your answer in the comments. If this lesson helped you, please like and subscribe. It truly helps us make more videos for you.